Hey now everyone, it's Steve Sievers for Bionic Buzz. I can't tell you how excited I am to be back at San Diego Comic-Con. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate your support. Now, let's go see who we can talk to. Guys, talking about your characters in the show and the setting?
Yeah, my character's Ethan. He's sort of a by-the-book rule follower. Thank you.
You are actually godsend.
I got you.
Just a quick sip. Yeah, he's a by-the-book kind of guy. He's a rule follower. He's a law student, and within the treasure hunting group, he's kind of the voice of reason at times. But he's also Jess's childhood best friend, and they have a very strong bond and connection from growing up together. And he's just very protective over her, so he's willing to do just about anything to protect her on this treasure hunt.
And I'm a rookie FBI agent, Agent Ross. She was top of her class, Quantico, brilliant, but very determined and maybe a little headstrong. And she was assigned a huge case right out of Quantico, and I botched it. I got the wrong guy. So I got demoted down to the Baton Rouge field office, where in my first week, Jess and Tasha waltz in with this story about treasure and the kidnapping, and I just think I'm being hazed by all of the senior FBI agents. They're all watching me on a monitor from the back and snickering at the new girl. But then I kind of start to piece together that maybe this is not all baloney, and kind of start following all of them. And I'm a couple paces behind them, trying to piece it all together. So she's going on her own journey to figure out what's actually going on.
So is Agent Ross a friend or a foe?
So there's an arc there, because in the beginning, like I said, I don't take things seriously. They're two teenagers who just waltzed into the FBI with a possible treasure relic. But she does have this great journey of maybe she's gonna start helping them. Maybe she actually believes them. So we kind of get to see that happen through the season. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the movies. How do if so, how do the movies inform the show?
We're 20 years later, the same characters exist. Many of them pop up in our show. We reference them. And we keep that spirit of National Treasure going, but as opposed to 2 movies, you get 10 mini movies, because we're doing a whole series.
And the pace is there. It's a very pacey show, and as soon as you start, you're just gonna strap in because you're on a ride, and it's just been a really fun story to tell.
Yeah.
Fun treasure to find.
And National Treasure is all about those big set pieces, those action set pieces, right? And we deliver one of those in every single episode. So it's really fun.
Good.
Yeah.
So, there's I don't want to give too much away, so there's this question better. So you play a lovable goofball who is trying to win back one of his characters. How does that go with the conspiracy theories, and how does that relationship, that dynamic work?
Oh, that might be.
Oh, I think
Oren.
that's an Oren.
Yeah.
That's the Oren
I'm the wrong
character.
person.
Yeah, it was you said conspiracy theories. That's Oren. Yeah. No, this is the dad of the group. He's our Boy Scout.
I guess I'm a kind of a goofball, but I'm actually very quite straight edge, by the book, rule follower, and he's,
And if anything, I feel like you're trying to tell them to stay on the straight and narrow in the beginning.
For the beginning of part of it, I'm really just against this whole idea. It's too dangerous. It's going to get everybody in trouble. And once I finally decide to accept that they're not going to give up on this, then I'm just there for them the whole way.
You
just
can't beat them,
everyone
join them.
Yes.
I assume it'll be pretty action-packed. Will there be a lot of fight scenes, or you get involved in any of the fight scenes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it opens. The first episode opens with a really epic fight scene, and it goes I think there's how many fight scenes are there?
Too many to count. I
Really?
myself, I think, had 3 in one episode.
Did you guys go through any training you need for?
Yeah, well, because I knew my character was going to be working with a weapon, and so I had a ton of weapons instruction just to be sure that I knew these guns backwards and forwards. It would be authentic when I use them. I met with her multiple times a week, and we would do different drills, and I kind of got to go through like a mini crash course in FBI weapons training, and then I got to use it, and it was great. I didn't need a stunt person. I knew how to do everything, and then all you do is just react. We're actually blowing up walls. Like, so many of our stunts are practical. They're not put in at the end. So then we just get to live in that world and just react to it. Yeah, we kind of all felt like badasses.
It's an actor's dream that we don't have to pretend and react to CGI. We're really reacting to real things moving on the sets. They're practical sets, like Lyndon said. I mean, I wish I got to do a bit more fighting, but I was kind of more the brains of the situation. Yeah.
How does your show stack up to like a lot of action adventure type shows and movies that kind of been formed from Uncharted, a lot of these video games?
I think one of the successful things about National Treasure as a whole is we give people a ton of action and that dose of violence or whatever, but it's also done in a really family-friendly way. So I kind of feel like when you have big action shows these days, it might skew only to an older audience, and I think we do a really good job of opening it up for multiple generations to sit down and enjoy. That's my thought.
Yeah, no, I forgot my question. I'm so sorry. What was the question?
Oh, how is our show different from other like big action shows these days, or what kind of set us apart?
You really nailed it. But like National Treasure really just hits that nostalgic factor. Like the treasure hunting, the Goonies, the Indiana Jones, that era of like films, and I think we just deliver that really nicely.
They actually all had a nickname on the show, all the kids finding the treasure. We called them the Scoobies because a lot takes place in this band. So like they were the Scoobies. So there was like a built-in nostalgia thing, even in all the nicknames.
Exactly. Yeah, band of friends that just like have their own different personalities and quirks, and it's just a real team effort.
Yeah, everyone's a piece to the puzzle.
So, Agent Ross,
Yeah.
right? Like FBI Agent Ross. How's it feel being the one that has to stop everybody else from having fun? Just going on the treasure?
I'm such a hall monitor, aren't I? But that's actually the fun thing about Agent Ross is she along the way is gonna have to start breaking rules if she's gonna help these kids. So, like she's maybe an angel one day and a bit of a devil the next.
Comfortable enough to take kids like you could do. So it's like,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Gotta eat something.
Well, we're very excited for this series. Can you talk about putting together a kind of a diverse cast now for this one? How's that important to you guys?
Oh, it was the first thing we wanted to do. It was the most important thing ever because it was like the first two movies were, told the story of the founding fathers and all the, those guys. It was time to tell the story of people who came from the South and from Latin America, and also the time to tell a female-centric version too. Like we wanted to do, it's we did Ben Franklin and all those male historical figures in the movies. We wanted to do female historical figures that are underrepresented in the past, that people don't really know their stories. So we found a couple of fun people that we don't want to tell you who they are. We want you guys to watch and then look them up. But that was really important to us. So diversity, cast, diversity of story in the story, and we just had great partners in Disney and ABC that supported us completely doing that.
what was it about the movies that made you like, we can make a series out of this?
Well, it's the world. I mean, it's like series are always based on the world, and we just feel like we like it. I mean, we're fans. Like we said, we're fans of the movie. We got to work with Sean Turtletop and all these people. We're not the authors, we're curators of this whole thing. And it's like we always just wanted to just do a fun treasure hunt world where we could just do like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
10 episodes and do 23andMe with our hero. That's what we wanted to really like. Who is she? Where did she come from? Because we all come from somewhere, and like I did 23andMe. I know exactly where I come from.
Well, yeah, he's 99.9%.
99.9%.
Irish. I'm a lot more diverse, but yeah, it's too funny.
Lyndon told us it's going to be like
a big action set piece on every episode, sort of a deal. So how challenging, how elaborate, how complicated are these action sequences, and were there any of them from the storyboard that you couldn't really pull off?
You know, an answer to kind of both questions is like, yeah, it's a 10-hour movie, because that's how we think. It's a 10-hour movie. But you did have to squeeze more capers in there. You had to squeeze, because it's 10 hours, so we had to squeeze more than just one kidnapped the president. So we had to, but yeah, we try to do, like, especially, maybe not the first one so much, but we do. Every episode gets more and more. Yeah,
it builds, and by the midpoint, it's like a roller coaster ride. You kind of go up, and then we were so surprised that Disney Plus and ABC embraced all the action adventure, because it's not just sitting in a room discussing treasure. It's going on the road, and it's going up against bad guys, and we were just like, oh my god, are they going to allow us to do it? And they did.
Yeah, and we are really lucky that they supported it. They gave us the budget to do it, so yeah.
What was kind of the top things that you guys wanted to do in the TV show that you couldn't do in the movies?
More romance with a love triangle. Can't really do that with, we had a little bit of it with Abigail and her, but we got to do more, because it's TV and movies are sort of the same now, it's kind of the same, but TV shows are longer. But so we did have to fill it with a lot more relationship stuff, a lot more, because you can't do Mission Impossible every episode. We did not have the budget for that.
Or Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's more pressure on this series without having Nicolas Cage as like the front man for this time around?
For sure, like everybody wants Nick, but we always, say that I think Jake said it, it's like his spirit, like this show is 20 years after the last, or 17 years after the last movie. We pick it up exactly from that. It's like 17 years later, this is where Harvey Keitel is, this is where he has a grandson.
This is Riley Poole.
Yeah, this is Riley Poole, has 3 books now and a podcast.
I was going to ask if you had any more books.
Yeah. And so we try to like carry those, and Ben Gates figures in the universe very prominently, because he's like a huge, like Bob Ballard, he's a big treasure hunter guy. He's discovered 2 huge treasures. He discovered the Titanic, basically. His presence is there. So while he's not physically there, the series wouldn't be the show without the Ben Gates of it all.
I'm really excited about the storyline of Jess being a dreamer, and I'm wondering how much of that aspect of her character factors into the overall story.
It's everything.
It's everything?
It's everything
Right.
in this story.
It's not just a thing. It's
What are you hoping audiences take away from that storyline?
Well, we're hoping that immediately everyone can identify with Jess's journey. We want everyone across the country, and then we want them to go, oh, I didn't realize she had to deal with that. And with each step, so we want everyone to kind of go, oh, but that's what it means to be a dreamer. I didn't know that. And a lot of the stuff that I learned too. We had a dreamer on our
staff.
Oh, that's
so,
yeah.
And she would tell us
stories
And
that made it into the show.
There would be things in relationship stuff that I never even thought of, that she would explain to us. Oh, that's really interesting.
So just like the edutainment of the historical element of the franchise, it's all about edutainment and educational entertainment. We want people to first and foremost be entertained. It's an adventure story. Jess is like crazy, is taking on insane adventures with her friends, but then at the same time you're learning something about her status and like what it means to be that. So we learned.
How are you doing? Everybody good? You have about 40 seconds left.
Anyone else get a question?
He mentioned Nick Cage. Are you have the door open for him to make a cameo or appearance?
We have the door open for him if we have a season 2. But season 1 is probably not. He's just too busy. But we do have a 3rd Easter egg character coming. So that'll be from the 2 movies, yeah.
What's up?
You guys start by explaining your characters in the series?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to?
Sure.
my character is Jess Valenzuela. She is a 22-year-old dreamer who grew up in Baton Rouge and is this very smart, intelligent young woman. She has a lot of potential. She was top of her class, and she had promises to go to college on a full ride scholarship. But on top of being really intelligent, she has a massive heart, and especially for her family. Her mother got sick her senior year of high school, and she decided to stay home to take care of her. On top of all the medical bills and her working, all these odd jobs, she just is at a standstill in her life until, somebody, it's actually, I don't know if I can say that. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know.
I'm going to say that somebody introduces her to this Pan-American treasure that revolves around a lot of her culture and who her family is, and her family may or may not be involved. And so she kind of goes down that rabbit hole, and on top of that, being a dreamer, she's like under the radar all the time and tries to stay out of trouble. And for that reason, she understands how risky it is to go after this treasure, how important it is to her to understand parts of her family and herself, and kind of going after it with her friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And such good answers, man. And
Thank you.
yeah, so
How do you follow that?
yeah, I know. So Liam Sadusky carries the torch of the Sadusky name and legacy. Peter Sadusky is his grandfather, Harvey Keitel, from the first two films. And Liam is kind of a loner by nature. He's not lacking in sarcasm, that's for sure. He wants not really anything to do with the treasures or treasure hunting because he's seen directly that lifestyle and he's seen the polarity of that lifestyle. I think the first two movies in the National Treasure series, we show the weight of what it can lead to, but Liam is a direct byproduct of the dangers of living a life of treasure hunting and what it can do to a family. So he tries to stay completely out of it when you meet him. And his passion is really music. That's kind of how he emotionally allows himself to escape. Yeah, and that's another thing. I felt so lucky on the show because I'm a singer-songwriter myself.
Okay.
And if,
Music too.
Guitar playing at all?
Oh yeah, I play everything in the
They
show.
go to
And
Austin Walker on
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
It's the plug.
Shit, it's a plug. It's a plug. But I know she shouted me out. Thanks, dog. Thank you. No, she completely exactly like. I feel really, really spoiled to be playing Liam, but I think that's what also makes him so interesting is I feel like the audience kind of expects him to be the guy immediately, to be like, no, let's do this, and he really has to be pulled into this hunt. And Jess is very convincing, to say the least. Yeah.
What can I say? Jess is stubborn.
Yeah.
And fortunately, she gets what she wants.
Yeah.
Your cast is super diverse. Like looking at the cast, it's like, how's it have your the cast family from like all different parts of the world? Does that kind of like the set make you feel more comfortable?
Oh man.
Or, like,
You know what? I think what was beautiful about getting to meet everyone from all walks of life in this cast is that we are all so different, but we all vibe so well.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's true. We've become a family, and like, it's cool because our conversations can range from like, what it was like growing up to just like things on pop culture that make us laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's so crazy how, you feel like it's on the nose, right? It's like you work with the cast and you come to the interviews and it's like, oh, we love each other.
Right.
But I mean,
love each
I
other.
swear on my
Right.
life, we had a group chat from the beginning. And then even we had to take an extra hiatus during right before we were shooting just because of COVID getting big, and so we had a lot of time to we had to all be with each other to make sure in our little bubble.
We've hung out so much that we have this shared album with each other of like
Almost 1,000 photos.
almost 1,000 photos and videos of all the times that we got to hang out. We went on trips together.
Yeah.
When we had time during the show, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, no matter where we go in this journey, these people will always be a fundamental, integral part of my life. Without a doubt.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's awesome. Thank you, Disney, for bringing a freaking
Seriously.
family together.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And also, I think because we were just talking about this, it's gonna be very apparent in the show.
Yeah, that's what's really cool about
it's
it. Is
crazy.
like, you get to build this chemistry with people, like in the line of work that we do. But in this instance, it's like it reads in real life. And one of my favorite things that I hear all the time when people come to visit set, whether it's crew or cast, they're always like, "Man, you guys all look so different. You guys are so different, but yet you guys get along so well. We're always singing with one another." But the reality is, it's like the energy that we all create together is what everyone wants to be a part of. And they really like appreciate that and seeing it. So I'm excited for people to see it on screen.
Like, how much of your character's background being from New Orleans influenced on the show?
So, I mean, a lot of the locations you'll see in Baton Rouge. We film partly in New Orleans, but for the most part, these are kids that grew up in Baton Rouge. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I don't know, I guess just like diving into the world that is Louisiana.
Yeah.
We see all the weather changes too on the show as well.
Yeah.
It ranges from like sweaters and like some, shorts and everything, but.
And I feel like it's innately in me no matter what. I'm originally from, I grew up in Mississippi and Louisiana my entire life, from basically half my life there and half my life in LA. So it was kind of like going back home and I got to see my family I haven't seen in so long. And I feel like it also just comes out in the characters. There's a lot of y'alls, you know what I mean? There's a ton of y'alls. But it's also, and this is one thing about shooting in that sort of, the Louisiana culture was so nice, is it's so family oriented.
Yeah, we meet a lot of friends with people that work around Baton Rouge, seeing us around town.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, it was like our crew that kind of was just
It was our bubble, baby.
Like investing.
Yeah, you go in
Baton Rouge downtown, but it was fun.
Yeah, I don't think it's lost in the show at all.
Yeah.
We talked to some of the other cast members about the action. It's heavily action-packed and fight scenes. Are you guys heavily involved in the fight scenes? Did you do fight choreography classes?
So we can't spoil any.
What exactly like the action is, but what we can say is through like episode 1 and 5, we were saying how it almost feels like its own kind of movie, part 1, and then once it's 6 through 10, you kind of see all the action packed, just like increase.
Absolutely, like 1 through 5 is kind of like that build up that the first movie is. It's so puzzly and story, and then 2 is just like in your face.
But that's not to say there isn't any action.
No,
5 either.
not to say. There's action throughout the whole thing. But at the same time, it's just like...
I'm like, what can I give without like?
I know, I'm literally jumping through hoops.
Say?
This whole time we just feel like Disney. Okay, we're good. So guys, listen.
No red dots.
Yeah, no red dots.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna be talking and just get shoved away.
I mean, these are like neighbors and kids from Baton Rouge, and they're getting into all sorts of trouble, and like you see them survive these instances, so it's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
to see,
it's absolute. If you stick around, it is one hell of a journey. I can tell you that right now. Yeah.
It sounds like you guys had so much fun. Are you really hoping for a season 2?
Oh my gosh.
Is there a lead-in?
I'm not saying I'd cry, but I'd probably cry.
I mean, there's a lot of cameras you can say Disney.
Yeah.
Season 2, we would love to do it.
It'd be so sick if you thought about a season 2. That'd be dope. No, I feel like there's so much story to still be told, especially with our characters. There's so many places to go, and we would love that.
Increase 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it on.
Maybe a movie show combination.
Never say
what
never.
I'm saying? Like.
Never say never.
Thank you guys.
Hey, thank you all so much.
Your character smashes a guitar, maybe.
Oh man, we'll see.
Do we got good pictures?
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, Zuri, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Good.
Can you talk about your characters in the series?
Yeah.
Take it away.
So I play Tasha Rivers, and she is one of the 4 best friends. She's also Jess's roommate. And Tasha runs a really big social media platform where she schools her audience on internet privacy and like how to keep the government out of your business, because she swears someone is always listening. So she brings that tech savvy aspect to the hunt, which any good treasure hunt needs somebody to crack some codes and break down some walls. So that's Tasha.
Yeah, and I play Oren, who is also one of the best friends, and he's got levels. The guy he runs a sneaker resale platform. He's a sneakerhead, so that was something that I had to kind of learn, because I'll buy a pair of $40 sneakers and be good for a year.
I've watched him do it. Yeah.
But I definitely had to learn that world, but also he's got this sort of concerning knowledge of conspiracy theories. That's, you know, on one hand, he can say these wild things like, "Oh my God, the dog buried the treasure." And you're like, "What? Did you just? What's going on in your head, buddy? You're a wild card." But also, he'll come out of nowhere with the answer to a clue that they've been trying to figure out and they can't crack it. So he's, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. That was literally in the character description. It was basically what he's like, and it's a joy to play, truly.
Yeah.
It's great.
Zuri, I feel like you bring all the energy to this cast. Like, you come to the table. How well do you keep the rest of them, like, up and about during this whole shooting of the show?
Oh my goodness. You know, I think, first of all, we sing all day long. From the time we get to set, from the time we rap. We first met in New York back in December, something like that, for dinner, and we sang the entire Les Mis from beginning to end. You know.
It was a show you have
Okay, please join us.
It's pretty amazing.
But yeah. I'm sorry, I kind of got mixy with the last part of your question, but I hope that I answered.
Like, how well do you bring your energy to the rest of the team? Like, you keep them up and going.
Yeah. We're always rooting for each other if somebody has an issue or we're not feeling our best. I'm always there. Antonio was always there. You know, we're just there to help each other because we're a literal family. It's crazy.
It's pretty awesome. She's the bomb.
Your character has all these conspiracy things, right? So, what can you mention any sort of the crazier one, or did you do some research and find some just whacked out ones out there?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to say many things, but I know that there was one that is actually not in the show anymore, and it was a part of my audition, talking about. Actually, I don't know if I'm even.
I'm like, which one? I don't know.
I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but it was all about. The Masons and how they built the pyramids and stuff like that. Or no, it's actually extraterrestrials who disguise as humans, you know, run the secret of all the rules of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Which is true.
Yeah.
Right.
So that you know, he has a lot of that knowledge, right? And you're just like, oh my gosh. Okay. So it was very interesting to like dive deep into those. And there's a lot. There's actually some that are very true that I talk about, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I can't say anything right now.
Straight off what he said, I mean, is your character a little manic with the conspiracy, or is it just pretty tame?
It's pretty tame. It's just random, which is so weird. He's got so many things going on that like that's one part of him. He's got the sneakers. Sometimes he'll tailor a suit. It's like he's such a wild card.
Oren's a great guy.
I thought it'd be like one of those crazy smoking cigarettes, like, yo, you know this.
He's a jack of all trades for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you guys have a favorite? Earlier we were talking about the sets and how. Do you guys have a favorite set piece, without giving too much away, that you guys have with you thus far?
They were all incredible. You go, because I gotta think.
Maybe Sadusky's Clue Room. Really, really cool. There's some artifacts from the movies as well. So if you are like a national treasure, like you know it from beginning to end, you'll definitely see some cool Easter eggs in that room.
Yeah. You know, I really liked the pool house that myself and Jordan, who plays Ethan in the show, that we live together in. It's a pretty badass place. And there's a pool table. It's really fun.
I want you to know the first time we ever saw the pool house, we were like,
I was like, what is going on?
Can I move in?
What are we a part of right now? This is insane.
Yeah.
We were like, let's have the rap party here. This is
please. Really cool.
They talked about a love triangle that's supposed to be on the show.
Yeah.
Which character is that supposed to be?
The other ones.
Yeah.
No, it's between Liam, Jess, and Ethan.
Yeah.
Now, did you feel like that chemistry between them felt real? Like they were actually in a thing on set? Like.
Well, I mean, behind the scenes, we're all just
friends, but
we love each other. But they did such a beautiful job. Like and also like the cinematography, the camera angles. Sometimes it really hints at it. Like there's a scene where, you know, twice in the same scene, one is with two of them and one like in the middle of them, and then it's
It'll, like,
flipped
rec
around
focus
all in the
to-
same scene.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
it's really
described that right, but you'll see it. You'll notice it.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
You mentioned how Tasha sort of has to reevaluate her belief system.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well,
Belief system?
Tasha is very anti-FBI, anti-government. So of course, Jess's dream job is to be in the FBI. And with Lyndon's character, Agent Ross, there's so many times when she has to go, okay, let me put my thoughts aside because there's a bigger picture. Tasha is very strong and she's a leader and she is always wanting to help her friends. So if that means that she has to put her differences aside, it's just like, so be it.
She does a beautiful job.
Oh. I paid him to say that,
Yeah, it was planted.